Hello, welcome to FHE on the Road with Christine Stevenson. This podcast is designed to connect the people and the places from the past with your lives today, with 5-minute stories and facts from church history. Save these stories for when you are traveling through these areas to bring history to life. Okay, welcome back to FHE on the Road. Today we're going to talk about the saints of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints when they left New York and went to gather in Kirtland, Ohio, and kind of the whole backstory to how that all happened. New York State is where the beginning of the restoration of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints started through many big and small miracles, namely, here are the big ones, the first vision, the Book of Mormon coming to light, the Aaronic and the Melchizedek priesthood being given to the prophet, and the organization of the church in the Whitmer home. So many amazing miracles foundational for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And that all happened in New York State. But only 8 months after the organization of the church in the Whitmer home, the Lord said it was time to move to a new location. In Doctrine and Covenants 37:3, the Lord said, "Assemble together in Ohio." Kirtland, Ohio became the headquarters of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and it became the headquarters when the prophet Joseph Smith came, and it stopped being the headquarters when the prophet Joseph Smith moved on to the next place. Kirtland was prepared by God for the next gathering of the saints. The Lord had started gathering people to Kirtland as early as 1805. Remember, Joseph Smith had the first vision in 1820, way before Joseph Smith had even had the first vision. Then influential and very spiritually minded people started gathering in Kirtland. Many faithful families settle in Kirtland, and to name a few, these were like big people in the restoration. The Snow family were there in Kirtland or in Ohio. Eliza Snow and her brother Lorenzo Snow are probably the most famous from the Snow family. Parley P. Pratt, Sidney Rigdon, Isaac Morley, Lyman White, John Murdoch, Edward Partridge, he's the first bishop of the Restored Church, Newell and Elizabeth Whitney. This is just to name a few. So these big names in church history, they were all gathered around the Kirtland area. Isn't that so crazy? There are so many. So before the announcement to gather in Kirtland came from God in the Doctrine and Covenant, the missionaries from the church had made their way across to Kirtland, Ohio, to teach the American Indians. While passing through Kirtland, the missionaries found a people prepared to hear and accept the gospel of Jesus Christ. Many had been praying and looking for a simple Christianity based on the teachings of the New Testament. Many of these people were members of the congregation led by Sidney Rigdon. So they were on the lookout. And then when the missionaries came through, not even to teach them, then they found that and they clung to that. So Sidney Rigdon had prepared his congregation to recognize the gospel of Jesus Christ. And Sidney Rigdon, and many of his congregation joined the church. By the end of 1830, there were almost as many members of the church in Ohio as there were in New York. So there were a lot of people joining the church in the Ohio area. So on December 1830, Joseph Smith received the revelation that the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints should leave New York and gather in Ohio. Joseph and Emma arrived in February 1831 and moved into the John Johnson farm in Ohio, about 30 miles from Kirtland. Then Joseph moved his family from Hiram into Kirtland, where he lived in the home of Newell K. Whitney. They lived there for 2 years. Newell K. Whitney's store served as the first location for the School of the Prophets. It's also served as the bishop's storehouse, and it was run by Newell K. Whitney. It was in Kirtland, Ohio, where the Lord revealed to the prophet Joseph Smith that the first temple should be built. And we're so excited about that. The Lord gave the saints detailed patterns to follow. The saints worked for 3 years to complete the temple, and the Lord rewarded the saints by opening the heavens to them when it was all finished. And holy cow, those days of the dedication of the temple are so amazing. And how the Kirtland era ends, the persecution in Kirtland got so extreme that the Lord instructed the saints to move on. And Joseph left Kirtland in 1838 to go to Missouri. That's a little synopsis of the Kirtland years, a very short little synopsis, but I think Kirtland sounds amazing. I love that Heavenly Father prepared those people so long before Joseph was even there. In 1805, these families were starting to gather and look for the church, and they were all ready to receive it. I love how the Lord works. Anyways, hopefully you like learning about Kirtland. Thanks. Thank you for listening to FHE on the road today. We hope you enjoyed what you've heard. Please like, subscribe, and share with anyone who'd be interested in these stories. Thanks.